Hi, this is Laura Jane. Welcome. I'm going to be painting today with Artistry by Altenew, Artist Gouache, that I have put into a palette. It's been in here for quite a while. It has dried up, so I'm going to give it a little spritz to kind of let the color soften up a little bit. The paper I'm using is the watercolor paper from Artistry by Altenew, and this is the hot press, 140 pound. 100% cotton, and I'm going to tape this off with the purple satin tape from Altenew. And off to the side I have 2 containers of water, one to rinse the brush and the other to have just clean water. I'm using a number 6 round brush. I don't have an idea of composition. I just know that I want to try and paint some flowers, of course. So I would like to work on my composition and some brush strokes. So I'm starting out with the ultraviolet and then some lavender. The brush stroke I'm using is just a push and pull. That paper is 140 pound, 100% cotton. It has a very nice smooth surface. The thing with the gouache paints is that it's going to layer on top of each other. So whatever color I have down first is going to get covered up by the next color. So I'm going to trying to add just a little bit more of like a detail to the petal. Again, doing that push and pull motion. Got a little mix of black in that just to get a different tone. And I'm thinking I'm wanting to lighten it up a bit, so I'm trying to get a lighter color, and I wanted to have maybe just a little bit of color variation, so I tried to pick up a darkness there on the very tip. That didn't work, so grabbed water, went back to that lavender shade, and just did some push-pull. These petals are, wow, they are so wonky. They're just kind of going everywhere. So I went in and grabbed the ultraviolet, going a little darker, just to add a little variation to each petal. Get one more flower here for just kind of a happy composition. Please ignore the I think the sun came out just for a little bit here, and just kind of showing a little bit of extra sunlight. So there's an extra blobby flower up at the very top. I'm going to try and make that just a bud of sorts. So let's move on to some green, and this I grabbed a little bit of the lagoon green, and I believe it's mixed in with a little bit of teal. So again, I had no idea where these stems should be. I'm just kind of very thinly putting something in. Looks like I grabbed a bit of the primary cyan, and again a push-pull here. There's quite the stem, or is that a leaf? Doesn't matter, but I'm adding some greenery and trying to vary the different greens that I have. When I'm thinking, I just tend to add a little bit of dots. So here I'm just dotting, thinking what color I should move on to next. And I'm grabbing, this is the Prussian blue, and doing some push-pull on top of that second bloom. Just basically going over those petals, trying to leave a little hint of purple showing through, and just little strokes there on the bud. And these are just little wisps towards the center of those petals. Trying really hard not to overthink. And maybe putting in a little definition of some of the stems in that blue. And thinking more dots. So now I have grabbed a little bit of the carbon black gouache, which comes in a separate tube from the initial Strolling Through New York. Does not have black, but Altenew is selling, they have large tubes of the black. Just throwing in some definition in the center of those flowers, just with some dots, and then also lightly adding some stems and maybe a little bit of detail here on a leaf or two. Okay, grabbing some more green. I'm mixing all the greens. We have Lagoon and Misty Teal along with a pistachio green. And I'm going over the original leaves here with another shade of green, just kind of doing some push-pull, trying to leave some of the initial color just kind of show through. Again, with gouache, the color just lays on top of the other and it doesn't blend unless you add more water to blend it out. This I am just laying on top of it, so it's just like color on top of color. I'm going to go to some yellow. This is where I need to add some other flowers or something of interest all around, and I'm really just flicking very small little flicks of dots, larger dots, just wherever I think some yellow looks good. I don't believe I'm going to talk through the rest of this until we come to some more interesting bits. As you'll see, I'm just very simply, I will continue to add dots of different colors here and there, trying to get a happy composition of color. And this was some of the coral red and baby pink that I wanted to kind of meld in some color, the yellow. More pinks. Since this is taped off, I wanted to add some ambiance or just something in the background. So I wet the paper down just a little bit, grabbed a lot of water, and just went in and grabbed some of the greens and actually the purples as well, and just kind of put in a real quick wash of color on all the edges. I do like how just very light of a wash you can get with these paints. And of course, grabbing some color and doing splatter covers a multitude of mistakes or things that I don't like. Grabbing a lot of water, a little bit of pigment off to the side. Went with the purples and then some blues, and then I even grabbed some pink as well. Grab some yellow there in the end, just to add a little bit more sunshine. All right, next, I allowed that to dry, and I wanted to introduce you to the new acrylic markers, which is from Artistry by Altenew, and they come in this really cool case. Just again, the thought that goes into the packaging that comes from Altenew just always astounds me. All these colors, and I was going to show how, yes, they're all in order, but I did not look ahead of time, and some are out of order. But there are 24 different colors with these pens. The packaging is so cool with the gates that flip down, and those hold those pens in place. So it looks like we've got just a nice variety of colors here, and a white and black, which is very good. My floral of the day here is nice and dry, and I'm going to be adding just some detail, just real quick, with those acrylic markers. I'm going to start out with the number 17, which is the lavender. And just a couple of flicks on the bud just to give a little bit of detail. Then here I'm just adding a couple of doodles to each of the petals on just maybe some little highlights. These acrylic markers have just that one option for a tip, and it's a medium tip, I would say. I've played with them a little bit, and they do not blend over the top of each other. You can't make them blend. The color sits on top. You just add one to the other. So I think they're very good for just like a top doodle. Definite definitions there on stems and interest for the leaves. Very light hand on that. I decided it needed a little bit of blue flowers. And these flowers are they're just little stick flowers, short little lines going out from the center. And I will add just yellow dot right in the middle. And I'm calling that done. So this is how they close up. That gate just flips and close up just like that. And we're ready to go, and those pens just stay right in place. So here is the unmasking. Truly one of the most satisfying. I love this satin purple tape. Peels so nicely. Does not pull on that paper, does not tear it. And not it being able to leave well enough alone, I grabbed one of my dual tip pens. This is Dewdrop, and add just a couple of flicks for stems for those sweet little blue flowers. I'm going to attempt to paint daily and do a little recording of it, and we'll see how it goes. So thank you very much for painting with me today, and I hope you like what you saw, and we'll see you next time. Have a blessed day. Bye.